Hey, JC here, the Alcoholics Friend with alcoholicsfriend.com. And since you're here, I want you to know I understand the pain and the frustration that you're dealing with and the hopelessness that you're feeling. I know what it's like to wake up in the morning and obsess over an alcoholic's behavior until I go to bed, and I know very well what it's like not to get any sleep because the alcoholic is out partying all night long. I understand the anxiety you're feeling on the inside, and I also know what it's like to be walking on eggshells whenever you're around the alcoholic, fearful that a sudden outburst of rage and anger may occur. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to give you some really good tools that can help you deal with personality attributes of the alcoholic. From age 6 until about 16, I saw my mom go in and out of treatment facilities because she was a binge drinker at home, and then she finally got sober and stayed that way for about 25 years before she died. And then I too had a battle with alcoholism, and I have been sober for 13 years, so I certainly know firsthand the personality attributes of the alcoholic and what it's like to be addicted to alcohol. Now, I was married to an alcoholic who, as she progressed in her alcoholism and drug use, there was a progression of abuse that was verbal, physical, spiritual, and mental that was directed towards me from her. So I know very well what it's like to be abused by an alcoholic or be in that type of situation. I've attended thousands of support group meetings at AA and also Al-Anon, which is designed for friends and family members of alcoholics. I can help you obtain more peace and serenity in your life. I can't do it all in this video, but at alcoholicsfriend.com we have a lot of audio lessons that can give you hundreds of tips and tools to help you deal with the alcoholic so that you can achieve more serenity and peace in your life. I just want to tell you that, the alcoholic is not going to stop drinking until they absolutely hit their bottom. And pretty much no matter what we do, we can jump up and down and scream and holler. And if we look back up until this point, we can see all the things that we've done that really haven't helped to make them stop drinking. So the idea here is to kind of change our behavior because their behavior is not going to change, and if nothing changes, nothing changes. So the responsibility lies with us. Even though they're the ones who have the drinking problem, there are some things that are going on inside of us that are causing us to not be the people that we want to be, and I can help you to change your behaviors and get your life back on track. So let me talk about some of the personality attributes of the alcoholic. One of the things that we see as a common thread is that alcoholics have a tendency to lie a lot. Now, what happens is that we want to confront the lies, and then there's another common thread among alcoholics, and that's denial. So they just deny that they're lying. And what happens is the more that we confront the lies, then they just deny that they're lying, and around we go on this merry-go-round of frustration, and they get madder and madder, which brings me to another part or another personality attribute of the alcoholic is that they like to use anger and anxiety. If they can keep everyone around them angry and upset, then it keeps the focus off of them. So getting back to lying, if we can just accept that lying is one of the personality attributes of the alcoholic, and, no matter how much we confront their lies, they're just going to continue to do that. If we can accept that and then consider trying to not even confront the lies, but just be at peace on the inside of ourselves, knowing that we know what the truth is, this most definitely will bring more peace and serenity in your life because it's going to diffuse the arguing. You won't find yourself on that merry-go-round of going around and around and getting more and more frustrated because you know what the truth is and they just continue to lie. So that's one behavior change that we can make that will really help us to be a lot more calm. Now, the other thing is about arguing. They try and keep us angry and anxious, and if they can push our buttons and cause us to act crazy, then they can point the finger at us and say, look, you know what, you're the crazy one, there's nothing wrong with me. And they leave the house and they go out to get drunk with their friends and have a good time, and we're left all mad and frustrated and angry and literally hanging from the chandeliers thinking that there's something wrong with us, when really they are the ones who have the drinking problem. And we need to be able to change these types of behaviors. So by not arguing with an alcoholic, just making it a rule that I absolutely, no matter what, I am not going to argue and fight with an alcoholic. This will help us to have more peace and serenity in our life and not feel like we are the crazy ones that are hanging from the chandeliers. Now, you might be thinking right now, why is it that you have to change because they're the ones who have the problem? Well, the idea here is for you to obtain more peace and serenity in your life, especially if you want to keep interacting with the alcoholic. And I can help you do that. I can't give you all of the tips in this video, but if you go to alcoholicsfriend.com, we have audio lessons with hundreds of tips that will help you to stop arguing with an alcoholic. Now, one of the things I want you to understand is that we should never have a serious conversation with them when they've been drinking. You wouldn't do that with a friend who had had surgery and was under the effects of an anesthetic whenever they came out of surgery, and that's what it's like when somebody's drunk. So you want to avoid having serious conversations with them when they've been drinking. This will most certainly help you to not argue with them. Now, the other thing is to stop an argument before it even begins. And the way that we do this is by recognizing what it is that the alcoholic is trying to do to make us upset and angry and trying to get us to fight. They might call us a nasty name or say something that isn't true about our character. And what happens is we want to defend ourselves, and we do it in an angry way. And then they just continue to point the finger at us, and around the argument goes. Now, one of the ways that we can begin to notice what these little things are that they're doing to push our buttons is by keeping a journal, especially after arguments happen. We just write down all the details of what happened, and then we can see more clearly what it is that they are doing over and over again to try and get us to fight with them. Now, here's a couple things that you can do. Let's suppose, they call you some kind of a nasty name. You can just look at them and say, that's not true. I'm going to go watch TV now. I'll talk to you about these things later. And you can just walk into another room, close the door behind you, lock it if you need to, and watch TV. If they say something that isn't true about your character, you can just look at them and say, well, that's your opinion. I'm sorry you feel that way. I have to go to the store now. I don't care to discuss this right at this moment. Let's consider talking about it tomorrow. I'll see you later. And then you can go to the store and always leave with kind of a smile and keep your body language at a calm tone. Try and smile and do things in a loving way. So, those are some good tips for you to help you in dealing with an alcoholic. Get over to alcoholicsfriend.com. We have a lot of audio lessons with some good tools and tips that will help you to deal with your alcoholic friend, relative, or coworker. I'm JC, the Alcoholic's Friend. Have a great day, unless you've made other plans.